connection is something that is deeply rooted in Luscious Supper Club's values.
And I thought if I host these dinners, strangers will come together around a shared table, they'll meet each other, we'll begin connecting again, I'll get to do food, it will be like this kind of a dinner party plus. I feel very, very passionate about making sure that they are wowed. And I want to make sure that they feel like they got more than they were expecting. And so I do feel a lot of pressure to make sure that each experience is phenomenal. And we never repeat a menu, and so every month it's brand new for me and my staff. So it's not like I'm just doing like tried and true favorites that I know work. I am challenging myself every single month as an artist to create something new.
Luscious Supper Club hosted their first dinner in Rose's home back in early 2023. Since then, every seat has sold out for their intimate dinners.
I consider myself an artist. Like I am using food as my medium, but I am much, much more focused on what the color composition is, what the mouthfeel is, how it's going to go together.
This experience is why Chef Rose Archer is bringing together food, farmers, and wine to celebrate Central Oregon's vibrant culinary scene.
The Luscious Bend Food and Wine Experience is happening September 27th at mt-bachelor Ski Lodge. We're taking over, there's 3 floors, we're taking over the whole thing, and we are transforming it into a culinary playground. And then we have partnered with 10 chefs, all local, that are each going to do a course. So it's a 10-course dinner. It's not just like finger food, which a lot of food and wine events are like tasters. They are actually 10 different dishes being created by the chefs. And we have partnered with local farms. So every chef is partnered with a farm, and then they are finding out from the farmer what they're going to have in their bounty in September. We chose September on purpose because that's when our local farmers have their biggest harvest.
She is passionate about using quality produce in her cooking.
There's this saying that says, what grows together goes together. It's like a seasonal adage. And so the things that are really amazing right now are tomatoes and peaches and corn and herbs. You can eat corn raw, and so this salad could be a completely raw salad with nothing cooked. But I love corn and butter so much together that I never miss an opportunity to combine the two. So I'm gonna cut the corn off the cob, I'm gonna saute it with some salt and butter, and then let it cool a little bit so that when we plate the salad, it has kind of a lukewarm, room temp corn as a part of the salad. So the next thing we're gonna make is a salsa verde. And I worked for Nancy Silverton in my 20s, and she is kind of the queen of the mortar and pestle movement because she thinks legitimately it tastes totally different when you make it by hand in a mortar and pestle versus like a food processor. And this garlic is from one of the farms that I'm working with at the Food and Wine Festival. They're called Around the Bend Farms. And they are a nonprofit farm that grows produce to donate to the Warm Springs Indian Reservation. So many times Food and Wine Festivals really features the chefs, and there's these beautiful photos of them with their plates of food, and they get all this recognition. But the farmers are left completely out if they're mentioned at all. And yet, if you consider chefs artists and using food as our medium to create sculpture that is then eaten, like we're the only people that eat our art, which is really cool. But if we are artists, then the farmers literally create our paints. Like we would be nowhere without their willingness to grow in Central Oregon. This is not going to be a pretentious, boring, stodgy food and wine event. This is going to be about a celebration of human kindness and about community and about shining light on all these different organizations and chefs and farmers and people doing beautiful things in our world right now.
Rose has worked with and learned from some of the most famous chefs in the world.
And while I was in Europe, I worked under some great chefs, most notably Massimo Bottura, who owns Osteria Francescana, which was the #1 restaurant in the entire world in 2016 and 18.
Oh my word.
So it was an incredible opportunity to get to work under him. And in fact, I lived at his house while I worked at his restaurant. I was 21 at the time, living in Milan, and there was an article in Travel + Leisure magazine that was the top 5 up-and-coming young chefs of Italy, and I was in Italy, so I wrote a letter to all 5 of the chefs and said, if you can put me up, like give me housing, I'll work for free in your restaurant to learn, or if you can't put me up, I'll work for really cheap. And so he's the only chef that wrote me back.
Her understanding of food is expansive and impressive.
You actually make kind of a creamy dressing as you eat the burrata, because we're gonna put like a lighter vinaigrette with tangerine vinegar and stuff on the salad, but as you're eating this burrata, it like melts into it, and so it changes the dish's composition by you with your fork and knife.
Rose puts an emphasis on highlighting ingredients as they are. She grows a beautiful garden in her backyard in Northeast Bend.
I have lived in Bend for 23 years. I've grown a garden every single year, and I've lived in more houses than I like to admit and moved around a lot in the city. But every single time I put in some kind of garden. And part of it for me was having a 14-year-old son. I wanted my son to inherently know exactly where food actually comes from. Is this
exact thing something you've made before? Because then you went to the store and you got these figs and you just threw them on.
Yep.
Right?
I've never made this exactly like this before.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had corn and tomatoes before. I've had corn and peaches before. I've had burrata and corn before. I've had, salsa verde with all of this before. But I have never, you're welcome. But yeah, I've never had it all together like this.
Rose's cooking is creative, bright, and meaningful. She lives with intention to bring together humans, people, and community.
I have a personal ethos that all humans should be treated as sacred, and I care deeply about the experience that my team is having as much as I care about the experience that the guests are having. It's just been an incredible journey of my evolution as a human, as a woman, as coming into my power, of using my voice, of knowing that this is what I'm meant to be doing, and then having incredible staff around me support that and want to be a part of that journey.
You can find out more about the Luscious Bend food and wine experience at the end of September, or keep an eye out for their exclusive dinners on Luscious Supper Club's website. For another edition of Taste This, I'm Emily Kirk.